we finna watch a video about every unbreakable college football record explained in 28 minutes. This kind of interests me because I love college football. So we finna watch
Sanders,
this video. Hope y'all boys enjoy.
2,628 rushing yards in a season. This isn't just a college football record. It's one of the greatest athletic feats in American sports history. In 1980,
didn't they say this nigga Barry Sanders had to have averaged like 250 yards a game to get that many yards?
Barry Sanders wasn't just a running back. He was a human cheat code. Playing for Oklahoma State, he shattered every expectation, every defensive scheme, and every record book in sight. And he did it as a junior in just 11 games. Here's the thing that makes this record almost mythical. He was a backup the year before.
It's a fucking Thurman Thomas.
A future NFL Hall of Famer, was the starter, and Barry quietly waited behind him. Then 1988 arrived, and the quiet kid from Wichita, Kansas, exploded into the national spotlight. In just 11
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm a firm and well-known hater of these big dumbass pads that they used to wear back then. Hey, untime him, bro. Y'all niggas doing too much. Untime him, folk. 600 seconds is crazy, nigga.
Regular season games.
Barry 600
Sanders
seconds is crazy.
2,628
he already served
yards,
his time
averaging
out.
Almost 240 rushing yards per game. If you include his bowl game, the total jumps to 2,850 yards. But the raw numbers don't even tell the whole story.
600 seconds is crazy.
He wasn't
that nigga
running
overdid
through
it.
Massive holes untouched. He was juking entire defenses out of their shoes, making 3 guys miss in a 5-yard window, and hitting top speed in 2 steps. His change of direction looked like something out of a video game. He also scored 37 total touchdowns, again, in just 11 games, and won the...
I ain't gonna lie, it's crazy because I don't think nobody's ever gonna come close to that. Doing that in 11 games is some of the most amazing shit ever. But I'm a firm believer in niggas back then were allowed to be unicorns because everybody else wasn't as good. Everybody just wasn't as good. So that allowed these niggas to be unicorns and be these one-of-a-kind, crazy special players, you feel me? That's just how I feel about that shit.
Heisman Trophy in a runaway vote, even though most of the country barely saw him on TV. In today's media era, Barry would have broken the internet every weekend. Since then, no one has come close. Samaje Perine, 427 rushing yards in...
I remember this. This would have pissed me off because Melvin Gordon had just set the record. And I think he broke Melvin Gordon's record the next day. It was either the same day, next day, or next week. But Melvin Gordon was going crazy. Then Samaje Perine came and broke that shit the same fucking
2014,
week.
Just 1 week after Melvin Gordon broke the single-game rushing record with 408 yards, Oklahoma's Samaje Perine went out and casually destroyed it. He was just a true freshman, 19 years old, built like a truck, but still new to college football.
That's fucking insane.
And that day against Kansas, the conditions were ugly. A game that screamed run the ball, and Oklahoma did, over and over. Perine carried the ball 34 times
for 400-some yards,
into 427 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. What made it so unbelievable wasn't just the number, it was how easily he did it. The Kansas defense had 0 answers. At 5'11" and 235 pounds, Perine ran with a mix of power and patience. It looked like a high school varsity player scrimmaging against a junior varsity team. And here's the craziest part. He broke the record with 12 minutes still left in the 4th quarter. After his 5th touchdown run, a 42-yard explosion, they pulled him from the game.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You can call me a bad coach. You can call me a terrible coach. In a situation like this where he has an insane record and you still have a quarter of football to go, I'm not taking you out the game. Why would I take you out the game and you're setting records? We're trying to destroy a record and I never want it to be touched again. I want to, as a coach, I want to etch your name in stone so fucking far that niggas from 10,000 years from now will know who the fuck you are. He should have put up 500 yards this game. As a coach, there's no way I'm taking this nigga out. Respectfully.
No need to chase more.
I'm not taking
he
him
had
out.
already done enough to rewrite college football history.
I'm
Georgia
taking him out.
Tech, 222-0 win over Cumberland, 1960.
Y'all know what's funny as hell is
This isn't just a college football record. It's the most lopsided game in the history of the sport.
Put up
in
222.
1916,
I
Georgia
deadass
Tech defeated
believe you have
Cumberland
to score. In order for this to work, I deadass think that you have to score every single play. Every single play, you have to score a touchdown, and you have to get a turnover that very next play after your touchdown. There's no other way that I see somebody putting up this many points.
By a score of 222-0. It remains
They
the
have
largest
no
margin
mercy
of victory
rule,
ever recorded
nothing.
in college football.
Like, is that not
and
crazy,
it happened
bro?
under circumstances that will never be repeated. The game was scheduled as part of a pre-existing contract. Cumberland had already disbanded its football team earlier that year, but canceling would have come with a $3,000 penalty.
Damn.
So instead, they sent a last-minute group of students, most
that
of whom
is-
had never played organized football.
they bogus
Georgia
as hell.
Tech, meanwhile, was
See,
coached
they got me thinking that they just whooped an actual other team. I'm thinking that they whooped like a real team. Man, these niggas ain't whooped no real team, bruh.
by John Heisman and considered one of the strongest programs in the country. They ran a fast, physical offense and had no intention of slowing down. By halftime, the score was 126-0. Georgia Tech scored on nearly every possession and finished the game with 32 rushing touchdowns, over 900 total yards, and 0 pass attempts. Cumberland finished with negative rushing yards, 15 turnovers, and no first downs. The game was a mismatch in every possible way, and it set a record that's never come close to being challenged. Modern rules now prevent games like this from happening. Programs have stricter scheduling, better oversight, and mercy rules in place. A score this one
I ain't gonna lie. I think you should get rid of the mercy rule. I think if you take a team out that's so bad that another team could put up 100+ points on you, you deserve to have that game played out. You deserve to have that game played out. There's no reason to have a mercy rule. Beat the fuck out of them. That's the whole point of the game, to win. And I want to beat you so fucking bad that you dismantle your whole fucking program.
sided isn't just unlikely. It's impossible in today's game. By the way, I'm going to be posting a lot here, so it would mean a lot if you subscribed and dropped a like for the algorithm. Case Keenum, 19,217 career passing yards.
I don't know how
From
somebody does this.
2006 to 2011, Case Keenum threw for
That's 5 years.
19,217 yards
That's 5
at
years.
the University of Houston, the most passing yards in NCAA history. No one before or since has come close. Keenum wasn't some 5-star recruit from a powerhouse program. He was a lightly regarded prospect from Abilene, Texas, who redshirted his freshman year and earned his way onto the field. But once he took over, he never looked back.
I don't
He
see how
played
you
in an
pass for that
offense
much.
fully embraced the air raid philosophy, fast tempo, spread formations, and constant pressure on opposing secondaries. But the numbers weren't just about the system. Keenum had elite anticipation, touch, and an incredible football IQ. He could read defenses in real time and deliver strikes to every part of the field. And it wasn't a one-year explosion. He put up massive yardage season after season. Even after tearing his ACL early in 2010, he came back in 2011 and threw for over 5,600 yards in his
He has 19,000 yards. So this man had to throw over 4,000 yards in every season. That shit is so unrealistic. This is between, I would say this record and I would say Barry Sanders' record are the two most unbelievable ones on here. Because you have to throw 4,000 or 5,000 yards every fucking season.
final
practically.
season at age 23, after being granted a medical redshirt. Across his 6-year career, Keenum threw for over 300 yards in 39 different games and surpassed 500 yards 10 times. His consistency was unreal. Even in today's era of pass-heavy systems, longer seasons, and elite quarterback talent, nobody's touched that number. Not Patrick Mahomes. Not Joe Burrow.
They're not going to, because you can't play for 6 fucking years. They're not going to give you 6 years to play. It's impossible. I don't see how you even have enough time to do this. There's nobody passing for 6,000 yards off. There's nobody doing that.
Not even Bryce Young or Caleb Williams. Because to break Keenum's record, you'd need a rare mix of opportunity, health, and elite performance every single week for 5 straight years.
Exactly. That shit is unrealistic.
88 career rushing touchdowns. This isn't just a quarterback record. It's one of the most quietly dominant careers in college football history. From 2012 to 2015, Keenan Reynolds rushed for 88 touchdowns as the starting quarterback for Navy, the most in FBS history.
That shit would piss me off as a running back. As a running back, that would piss me off. I would hate this shit.
In an era defined by spread offenses and Heisman-level passers, Reynolds carved his own lane at a service academy that doesn't get the spotlight, but he made history anyway. Navy ran a strict option system. No gimmicks, no air raid. Just tough, physical, assignment-based football. And Reynolds was the engine. He made the reads, took the hits, and turned broken plays into touchdowns. Over 4 seasons, he racked up over 4,500 rushing yards and became the face of Navy football in the modern era. His 88 career rushing touchdowns broke the previous record held by Montee Ball, and it still stands untouched. No quarterback has come close. Most don't even get enough carries. And most schools don't run anything close to Navy's system.
Most niggas is not getting 80
his career with 31 wins
rushes
as a
in
starter,
their career.
multiple top 25 finishes, and legendary performances against Army,
What was this
Notre
nigga
Dame,
passing
and
stats?
Pitt.
That's what I want to know.
And despite never being a Heisman
His
finalist,
passing stats couldn't be
he
crazy.
left with a stat line that may never be matched again. Because to break 88 rushing touchdowns, you'd need a 4-year starter who never gets hurt, plays in an option-heavy system, and scores 2 touchdowns almost every game. That player doesn't exist right now, and might not ever again.
I think you can. Is it realistic? No, but I think there's a high chance of that, though. I mean, you get a good running back, and we're talking, you could literally just get to the 1-yard line, get this nigga the ball, have him score twice a fucking game, every fucking game. And there's going to be times where he get 3-4 touchdowns. I think this record definitely could be broken.
David Klinger, 11 passing touchdowns in a single game. In 1990, Houston quarterback David Klinger threw 11 touchdown passes
What the fuck was Houston doing? What the fuck did Houston have in their water? Because these niggas got 11 touchdowns in one game. They got niggas that's passing for 19,000 yards in a college career. That don't make sense. That's unrealistic. This is
game against Eastern Washington.
Unrealistic.
That number still stands as the most passing touchdowns in a single FBS game. And it was no accident.
Hell no, because my quarterback
time,
on fucking
Houston was running
Notre
one
Dame
of the
finna
most
break their record,
aggressive
nigga.
passing offenses in the country under head coach John Jenkins. It was a continuation of the run and shoot
You ain't doing that
system
shit.
that had already helped Andre Ware win the
You ain't doing that
Heisman
shit.
the year before. Klinger inherited the keys to a Ferrari, and he drove it like no one before him. Eastern Washington was an FCS opponent, and Houston didn't hold back. He finished the game with 41 completions for 572 yards, and those 11 touchdowns weren't cheap. They came on designed plays, executed at full speed. The record wasn't a fluke. Klinger would go on to throw 54 touchdown passes that season, setting the single-season record at the time. He was part of a revolution in offensive football, one that made defenses rethink how to cover the field. And yet, more than 3 decades later, 11 touchdowns in a game still hasn't been matched. In today's game, teams rotate quarterbacks more often. Blowouts lead to backups playing the second.
I could never be a coach. I'm gonna just like respectfully, bro. Respectfully, gang. I could never be a quarterback, bro. Because I would be running up the score as soon as I see my quarterback hot or my running back get hot to the point where I'm like, these niggas are on pace to break a record. I'm finna put that bitch in full drive, nigga. I'm finna put this bitch in sport mode because we finna blow some shit out. We are about to break that record. and it's never gonna be fucking said again. That's the type of mentality I would go into with this type of shit.
Half. And even the most explosive offenses tend to balance things out, which means Klinger's record isn't just old. It's untouchable. Patrick Mahomes, 819 total yards in a loss.
Do you remember this game? I know exactly what game this is. This is Texas Tech versus Oklahoma. I remember this shit. This was one of the craziest games to ever watch.
Texas Tech quarterback Patrick Mahomes.
This is one of the craziest games to ever watch.
819 yards of total offense in a single game. That's the most ever by one player in FBS history.
Both of them niggas
somehow they
was
lost.
popping they
The
fucking
game was against
shit.
Oklahoma in one of the wildest shootouts college football has ever seen. Final score, 66-59, Sooners win. But what Mahomes did that night was otherworldly. He threw for 734 yards, tying the FBS record for most passing yards in a game.
It's the most passing yards in a game. Pat Mahomes got like 819. It was when him and Baker Mayfield, them niggas was going at it, boy. They both passed for over 500 some
and
yards.
Added another 85 yards on the ground. He touched the ball on nearly every play and was responsible for 5 touchdowns.
This nigga, that game, I believe, is what actually got this nigga drafted so high up in the draft. I believe that one game is what got him drafted so fucking high.
Touchdowns. And here's the kicker. He played through a shoulder injury. He was banged up, limping, and still launching 40-yard lasers off his back foot. Texas Tech ran over 100 plays.
Why wasn't he first pick?
This was Mahomes before the
Because he went to Texas
MVPs
Tech
and Super Bowl rings.
He went to
Just
Texas
a raw,
Tech. There was no. I don't think there was a way for him
gunslinger
to go
outscore
first.
Everyone in sight. And while offensive numbers have exploded in recent years,
If anything,
no one's
it should have
come
been
close to
Deshaun Watson going first.
819 yards in a single game. Brandon West, 7,764 career all-purpose yards. From 2006 to 2009, Brandon West racked up 7,764 all-purpose yards at Western Michigan, the most in NCAA history.
Wait, I ain't gonna lie, when I go looking.
At Western West racked up 7,764 all-purpose yards.
I ain't gonna lie, Western Michigan got 2 records because I think Corey Davis has the. I wonder if they go get to him. I think he has the. What record did he set? Is it the most receiving yards? I think he has the most receiving yards
at Western Michigan.
NCAA
the most
history.
in NCAA history. That includes rushing, receiving, punt returns, and kick returns. If there was a way to touch the football, West did it. He wasn't playing on a national title contender. He didn't have primetime TV slots or Heisman buzz, but every single game he chipped away at history. West was a true Swiss Army knife. As a running back, he rushed for over 1,000 yards in 3 different seasons. As a return man, he was one of the most dangerous weapons in the country, constantly flipping field position and breaking long runs. And as a receiver out of the backfield, he added another layer of production. What made this record possible wasn't just talent, it was availability. West played in 49 games over 4 years, rarely missed time, and took on a massive workload from day one. He wasn't a stat patter, he was a workhorse.
I'm gonna be honest, honestly, some of these records I'll be feeling some type of way about because Western Michigan, I think they was in the MAC. All due respect to them, they play at a high level. I'm not a D1 athlete or anything like that. But they wasn't playing much talent. And I feel like it's much easier to break these records against less talented motherfuckers, you feel me? Like even Houston, I'm sure they wasn't playing up against no SEC or even Big Ten motherfuckers. So it's kind of like these records are super valid, but I also feel like these records should be looked at with like, damn, that nigga wasn't playing. He wasn't playing no crazy niggas for real. That's how I feel about it.
Plenty of explosive players have come and gone. Some had bigger single seasons. Some had flashier highlight reels. But no one has matched West's total volume across all phases of the game. Because to break this record, a player needs to do everything for 4 straight years without missing a beat. And in today's game, where star players sit out bowl games, transfer, or head to the draft early, that kind of consistency is almost extinct. Niall Kinnick, only Heisman winner to die in World War II. In 1939, Niall Kinnick won the Heisman Trophy as a halfback for the University of Iowa. That season, he became a national symbol of excellence, both on and off the field. He wasn't just a great player,
Boy, when I tell you this man's face and this man's name is plastered around Iowa like he was Jesus. Everything evolves around Niall Kinnick.
was a scholar, a student body president,
Everything.
and a public speaker with a powerful presence. In his Heisman acceptance speech, he famously said, "I thank God I was born to the gridirons of the Midwest and not to the battlefields of Europe." Less than 2 years later, he was training to serve in World War II. After graduating, Kinnick joined the U.S. Navy and became a fighter pilot. In 1943, during a routine training flight off the coast of Venezuela, his plane
Who are you talking about? This is Niall Kinnick. He won the Heisman at Iowa. And he was in
developed
World War
engine
II.
trouble.
and
Rather
died.
than risk crashing into the carrier and endangering others, he attempted an emergency sea landing. He didn't survive. At just 24 years old, Niall Kinnick became the only Heisman winner to die in World War II. His legacy extended far beyond football. Today, Iowa's football stadium is named Kinnick Stadium in his honor. His name lives on not because of how many touchdowns he scored, but because of the life he lived and the sacrifice he made. Tom Harmon, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and everything else.
Huh?
In 1939,
What the fuck
Tom
does that
Harmon,
mean?
the original superstar from the University of Michigan.
Look at
put-
these uniforms. My God. How the fuck were these niggas not killing themselves? Imagine these niggas was going head to head how niggas do now. Like the CTE had to run rampant. I promise you there was at least 12 concussions a game. There's no way that there was anything less than 12 concussions a game. Look at these fucking helmets. Look at these fucking helmets. Look at these shoulder pads. Why the fuck is his shoulder pads down to his motherfucking elbow? Let's be dead ass. Let's be dead ass right now. There's no way that these niggas wasn't going home, going to sleep, and still waking up the next
together
day.
a game that still doesn't seem real. Against Ohio State, in the final game of his college career, he scored 5 total touchdowns, intercepted 3 passes, punted, kicked extra points, and even handled kickoff duties. He
What
wasn't
the
just
fuck?
playing multiple positions.
This
He was
nigga played
dominating
everything.
them. On offense, Harmon ran for 3 touchdowns and threw for 2 more. On defense, he was a ball hawk, picking off 3 passes and shutting down the Buckeyes' air attack.
This proves my point. Everybody back then was trash. Everybody back then was trash. I promise, I damn near put that shit on my life that nobody is doing this shit again. Nobody would ever have another game like this. Simply because who the fuck is letting a nigga, this is not high school football. Maybe you could do that in high school football. You damn near not doing that in high school football, nigga. This is when football first started because nobody's ever doing this shit, bro. Nobody in this day, nobody in the past 40, 50 years is doing this shit. Not
On
even
special
close.
teams, he did everything except sell popcorn at halftime. It was the kind of game you'd expect from a myth, not a real person. But Harmon was the real deal. That 1939 season, he led the nation in scoring, total offense, and all-purpose yards. He won the Heisman the following year in 1940 and was widely considered the most complete.
How did he win the Heisman the year after his senior year? Am I the only one that caught that? How do you win the Heisman a year after your senior year? I think I might be tripping.
Player
But
of
I'm
his
pretty
era.
positive I
No one
heard
has
that,
put
though.
together a game like that since. Because in modern football, players are specialized. A quarterback doesn't play safety. A running back doesn't kick. That's why no one will ever reach it again.
Which is kind of gay because
Buffalo,
I be wishing
6
niggas
rushing
would,
touchdowns
bro.
in a single quarter, 2020. This isn't a record from the
Damn.
early days of college football. It happened recently.
When the
and
fuck
it
was
happened
this?
fast.
I ain't seen
In
this.
2020, the University at Buffalo scored 6 rushing touchdowns in a single quarter against Kent State.
That
All
explains
6 were
it.
scored
There it is. It's Kent State. They're trash. Kent State's always been bad. I could put up 6 touchdowns against Kent State. I'm sorry. I'm not impressed.
by one player,
I'm not
Jarrett
impressed.
Patterson. It was one of the most dominant 15-minute stretches in the history of the sport. Buffalo ran a ground-heavy offense, and Patterson was their star. But what he did in the second quarter of that game was something else entirely. The offensive line opened lanes, and Patterson exploded through them. Kent State had no answer. By halftime, Patterson had already tied the record. By the end,
How do you set this record but not the rushing yard record? Unless Kent State just deadass wasn't moving the ball enough to where you can get a long field.
of the game, he had rushed for 409 yards and 8 touchdowns, tying
okay, so
the
he was
all-time
close. He was
single-game
close as
rushing
fuck.
TD record. But it was that second quarter, 6 touchdowns in just one quarter of play, that stamped his name in the record books. No other team has ever rushed for more.
Okay,
in
400
that span.
yards. Okay,
And with
okay,
the way
400 yards
modern
is crazy.
coaches manage reps,
Okay.
rest players, and
Definitely
ease
makes
off in
sense.
lopsided games, it's hard to imagine this record falling. Donnell Pumphrey, 6,405 career rushing yards. From 2013
Why
to
do I think it was somebody that
2016,
just broke it
San
last
Diego
year?
State's Donald Pumphrey rushed for 6,405 yards, the most in FBS history. That number puts him above legends like Herschel Walker, Ron Dane, Ricky Williams, and LaDainian Tomlinson. And yet, Pumphrey's name rarely comes up in the conversation of all-time greats.
Because
But
he's
the numbers
not.
don't lie. He wasn't the biggest or the fastest. At just 5 feet 9 inches,
I'm not gonna
170
lie, bro.
pounds,
That's
he
exactly
didn't look
what I'm
like
saying. He went to fucking San Diego State, played in the Mountain West. He's not going to be put up with the greats simply because of where he played football at. That shit sucks, but it's true. Where you play football at matters so much more than motherfuckers want to give credit to, bruh. So
the
much
kind
more.
of player who could carry the ball 300 times a year. But he did, year after year, and turned in production that no one could match. Pumphrey rushed for over 1,800 yards in back-to-back seasons, finishing with 2,133 as a senior. He also added over 1,000 receiving and return yards in his career, showing off his versatility as an all-purpose weapon. He wasn't just racking up yardage against weak competition either. He torched Power 5 defenses in bowl games, delivered in conference championships, and carried
That don't matter. Just because they're a Power 5 team does not make them niggas good. It's the Mountain West. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure whatever bowl games they was in, they wasn't doing shit for real, dog. I'm pretty positive. You can't say Power 5 and it'd be fucking Tulane. This Tulane, bro. That's not even that's not even Minnesota, bro. Like,
Diego State to multiple double-digit win seasons. He knew how to set up blocks, find cutback lanes, and slip through tight spaces. Plenty of backs have had big seasons, but almost none have stayed healthy, stayed consistent, and stayed dominant for 4 full years. In today's game, most elite backs leave for the NFL early. Others split carries. And very few ever get the opportunity to chase 6,000 plus yards. Bailey Zapp, 62 passing touchdowns in a single season.
That's like 2020,
This
wasn't
isn't
it?
just a record-breaking
That was
season.
like 2021.
It's the greatest statistical passing year college football has ever seen.
It was
in
like
2021,
yeah. 'Cause I
Bailey
know
Zapp
he
threw 62 touchdown passes
I remember he had broke this the year after Joe Burrow just set the record. Because Joe
at Western
just
Kentucky,
set the record.
the most in FBS history. He broke Joe Burrow's record of
Yeah.
60, which had stood
Hey,
since
y'all can't even sit here and lie, gang. My football knowledge is top tier. Like, y'all can't even bullshit. My football knowledge is top
LSU's
fucking tier.
historic 2019 season, and Zapp did it in just 1 year at the FBS level. Before that, he spent 3 years lighting up defenses at Houston Baptist, an FCS program. When he transferred to Western Kentucky, he brought his offensive coordinator, Zach Kitley, with him. And the results were instant. Zappe ran a lightning-fast air raid-style offense that leaned into his strengths. Every possession felt like a 2-minute drill. Every throw had purpose. He finished the season with 5,967 passing yards, another
I'm gonna lie,
FBS
that's
record,
insane.
and 62 touchdowns in 14 games, including 6 in the bowl game that pushed him past Burrow's mark. But Zapp wasn't just padding stats. He was sharp, efficient, and
Throwing 6
almost
touchdowns in one
impossible
game is
to
pretty
throw off
crazy.
rhythm. And while offenses today are more pass-friendly than ever, no one has reached 62 since. To break Zapp's record, you'd need the perfect quarterback. back, the perfect scheme, and a team willing to throw from week 1 through the bowl game without slowing down. That combination may not come around again for a long time. Howard Griffith, 8 rushing touchdowns in a single game.
Hey, this was my coach. He was the owner of my youth football league, and I played football with his son.
This isn't just a single game explosion. It's a record that stood for over 30 years.
I think I still got that nigga
untouched by
football.
every great running
I think I
back
still got his
since.
number. I just seen him
In
a couple
1990,
months ago.
Illinois fullback Howard Griffith scored 8 rushing
Him being a
touchdowns in
fullback
a
is
single
crazy,
game
though.
against Southern Illinois. It remains the most ever by one player in FBS history. And what makes this record even more shocking? Griffith wasn't the featured tailback. He wasn't known for speed or highlight runs. He was a fullback, built for power, short yardage, and blocking. But that day, he was unstoppable. Illinois dominated the line of scrimmage, and Griffith kept finishing drives,
I wish they
goal
could
line
show some of the
plunges,
highlights.
short bursts, and punishing runs between the tackles. He finished the game with 21 carries for 208
I ain't gonna
yards.
lie. I've seen a lot of athletes before. This nigga here has the biggest calf muscles I've ever seen in my fucking life. His calf muscles are bigger than most people's fucking heads. This nigga's calf muscles
and
is
8
fucking
touchdowns,
insane.
averaging nearly 10 yards per carry. He didn't need 40 touches. He made every single one count. Since then, several players have scored 7 rushing touchdowns in a game, but no one has reached more than 8. Coaches pull starters early.
No, my
Teams
Howard Griffith, my old coach.
balance touches, and blowouts rarely last long enough to push a player that far. That's what makes Griffith's record so tough to break. Florida State, 14 consecutive top 5 finishes. From 1987 to 2000, Florida State finished in the AP top 5 every single season. That's 14 years in a
He
row.
probably
A level of dominance that no
you know,
other
that's
program
something I
has
never
matched
thought about,
before
bro.
or
That's
since.
something I don't think I ever
It was the
wanted to think
golden
about.
era of Seminole
I
football,
don't think I ever
and
wanted
it
to
was
think
built
about that
under one
game.
man, Bobby Bowden. With Bowden at the helm, Florida State became a machine, reloading every year with future NFL stars, competing for national titles, and winning almost every game that mattered. This streak wasn't built on soft schedules or conference mismatches. Florida State played anyone, anywhere, from Miami and Florida to bowl games against top-ranked teams. And they didn't just survive, they thrived. From 1987 through 2000, they went 152-19. They won 9 ACC titles, made 5 national championship game appearances, and captured 2 national titles in 1993 and 1999. The 1999
It's
team
crazy. I really find it crazy how bad they fell off. And I remember I think Florida State's fall off is solely in the hands of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson single-handedly took them niggas from here to the basement, nigga. Because as soon as he did that shit in that first game, I've never seen Florida State get back on top.
even went
or
undefeated.
even be decent.
Wire to
for real.
wire ranked number 1 from preseason to national champions. Every college football powerhouse has had its moment.
What did Lamar Jackson do? Lamar Jackson as a sophomore was touching them niggas in the most inappropriate way you can ever imagine. That man was dotting shit, and I think he ran for like 3 or 4 touchdowns too. Like, I'm talking about putting spin moves. Was that the year I think that was the year he won Heisman too. And I remember seeing that because Florida State was ranked like number 2. They went and played Louisville, and Louisville beat them like, I want to say like 40-something to 7 or something like that. I think like 40-something to 7, I believe.
But none have sustained it like Florida State did for over a decade. Derek Thomas, 27 sacks in a single season.
I don't think nobody
In
breaking this.
1988,
I don't think this can be
Alabama
broken.
linebacker Derek Thomas recorded 27 sacks in a single season. That's the most in FBS history.
Go look it
And
up.
it's not
Nigga,
even
I'll
close.
pull it up myself, bro. I'll pull it up myself. Lamar Jackson versus Florida State was one of the craziest highlights. Like, we're gonna watch a real quick one, a 5-minute joint. This man was so insane, bro. This man was so insane, bro.
Making the catch. He's known for his accuracy, especially on deep balls. That was an uncharacteristic miss. So Jackson keeps it, play action, 2nd and 10.
He was throwing that motherfucker too.
Jalen Smith bangs down.
He was throwing that
Great
motherfucker.
patience by Jackson. Nobody even close to Smith that time, and he's able to come up. I thought he steps out of bounds there for sure. But a great play call here. Bobby Petrino has this defense of Florida State right now on their heels.
This is before Jimbo Fisher got there. Or was it? No. Or did Jimbo Fisher leave? I think Jimbo Fisher left. I think he left for Notre Dame. This is where motherfuckers learn who Lamar Jackson was.
Jackson gets it to him, and he's wide open. A lot of space for Bonifant on the edge in the Knowles territory. Knocked down inside the 40. Jackson keeps it. Gets blocks on the edge.
I miss seeing Lamar Jackson run like this. Watching him run like this was so fun, bro.
What a start.
They want to keep their foot on the accelerator.
Is this a long touchdown? Huss, come here.
That keeper shows the acceleration. Jackson in the secondary. Lowers his head. Huge gain down inside the 30. That's why he is the premier dual threat quarterback in the country right now.
On the Marcus Walker zone read again.
Like his ass just be. He was so cold at Louisville.
Now with just a 4-point lead and a strike thrown. Quick shakes it out.
And he was throwing some dots.
And James Quick ducks down.
Let me find this long touchdown that this nigga ran, bro.
Here in Louisville, highest star rating of any. Jackson rolling out, gets a block on the edge and leaps out of bounds. Yards down. And Jackson. Receiver in game day. Phil quarterback. Think on that. As Jackson does take a 45.
A different guy.
Ball caught.
McFadden is right there.
In the knee.
Watch McFadden. He's a great
Of rushing touchdowns in the first half.
This got to be it right here.
out here.
This got to be it right here.
Carries.
Yeah, he's better than Cam Newton for sure.
In the pocket.
Yeah.
Delivers over the middle. High throw.
Yeah, he's better than Cam Newton. This is what put him on the show for real.
Makes a cut.
Come here, spin. Huss.
Why not spin in for another touchdown?
Gang, they whooped the fuck. Oh no, college wise, no, hell no. College wise, I don't think nobody's better than Cam Newton. I think Cam Newton is the greatest college football player of all time. No bullshit. I definitely think he is.
Thomas wasn't just
People
fast.
have had better
He was
quarterback
explosive
season,
off
but
the
I don't
edge
think nobody was
with a first
better
step
than him
that made
as
offensive
a college
tackles
athlete.
panic. He had perfect timing, elite bend, and an unstoppable motor. Every snap, he was in the quarterback's face before the play could develop. And this wasn't in some pass-happy era either. In the late 80s, college teams ran the ball far more than
Why that look like Kirby Smart? Am I tripping? Kirby Smart ain't that old.
they passed.
That looked like Kirby
Offenses
Smart.
were slower,
Kirby Smart definitely
more
ain't that
physical,
old. I'm fucking around.
and still, Thomas lived in the backfield.
That like
He
his
had
motherfucking
multiple
grandpa.
games with 4 or more sacks, including a 5-sack performance against Texas A&M in the Cotton Bowl. And even when he wasn't bringing quarterbacks down, he was altering
Jim
plays,
Miller?
forcing fumbles,
You know who the
blowing
fuck
up
that
blocking
is?
schemes, and setting the tone from the first quarter
You
on.
knowing who that is
Today,
crazy.
the game is
bull.
faster. Quarterbacks get rid of the ball quicker, and defensive rotations limit snap counts. Even elite pass rushers
I was
rarely
gonna
hit
say,
15 sacks
I
in a
was gonna say,
season.
nigga, you
To
raw
get
as
near
hell pulling
27,
that shit
you'd
off.
need dominance.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought Chase Young was gonna break that record. I thought so highly of Chase Young. I thought Chase Young was just gonna be just the next home record, bro.
Durability and a scheme
Nigga
built
said Jim
entirely
Miller.
around one man. Derek Thomas had all of it and used it to perfection. Oklahoma, 47 game-winning streak. From 1953 to 1957, the University
Nobody's
of Oklahoma
doing this
won
ever
47
again, bro.
straight games
Like, not even
under
a
head
chance.
coach Bud Wilkinson. That's 4 full seasons without a single loss, across multiple rosters, multiple quarterbacks, and dozens of ranked opponents. And they didn't just scrape by, they dominated. Oklahoma
thought Chase Young
outscored
was
teams
gonna
by
be
an average
fucking-
of 30-plus points.
I thought he was
shut
gonna
out
be the
opponents
next Chase Young.
regularly,
I didn't think
and
there was gonna be a
controlled
player
every
like
game
him, bro.
with
I'm
a
be honest
brutal
with
mix
you.
of discipline and
I
physicality.
thought he's gonna be his own type of
Wilkinson's
player.
teams ran the
that was
split
just
key
so
offense
insane
with
that they'll
surgical
put him in the
precision
category with
and played
anybody else.
suffocating defense.
Like
They weren't
LT.
flashy.
Nobody
They were
puts LT in
flawless.
the category.
During the
or even
streak,
JJ
they
Watt
won
for real.
3
They got their
national
own categories.
championships, produced
thought
multiple
Chase Young was gonna be
All-Americans, and built the foundation for Oklahoma's powerhouse reputation. But what makes this streak unbreakable today is the structure of modern college football. Today's game is built for chaos, with conference championship games, playoff systems, early draft departures, and constant media pressure. Even the best programs slip up. Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia. None have come close to 47 in a row. You need elite talent. You need coaching
That's a boring ass
consistency.
fucking. That's a
You
boring
need
ass
luck
stat.
with
Fuck
injuries, and you
Oklahoma.
have to win every week for over 3 years. John Reeves, 9 interceptions in a single game. This isn't a highlight. It's a low point that's never been matched, and likely never will be. In 1969, Florida quarterback John Reeves threw 9 interceptions in a single game against Auburn. That's the most ever by one player in an FBS game, and it still stands over 50 years later. Reeves was just a sophomore at the time, and a talented one. He went on to become the SEC's all-time passing leader and had a long pro career. But on that day, everything went wrong. Florida trailed early and got one-dimensional fast. Reeves kept throwing, and Auburn kept picking him off. The Tigers' defense knew exactly what was coming, and they took full advantage, forcing mistake after mistake with aggressive coverage and pressure. By the end, Reeves had thrown for over 400 yards, but those 9 interceptions overshadowed everything. In today's game, this kind of performance would never happen. Coaches would pull the quarterback after 3 or 4 picks. Teams rotate faster, manage optics, and protect players from spiraling mid-game.
All due respect, I don't give a fuck about folks' ass.
Repeated. Texas Tech versus Centenary. 77 combined punts in a single game.
You know how trash both of y'all niggas gotta be? Both teams for 77 combined punts. 77 combined
This
punts.
isn't just a
King.
weird stat. It's the strangest game in college football history. In 1939, Texas Tech and Centenary combined for 77 punts in a single game. That's the most ever recorded, and nothing else even comes close. It wasn't a defensive slugfest. It was a weather nightmare. The game was played in a torrential
I don't give a fuck if God himself was pissing on that field. There's no way you should punt 77 times. How is there enough time in the game to get off 77 punts? That means niggas dead ass just had to be grabbing the ball and falling to the ground and calling timeouts. Niggas grabbing the ball, running straight out of bounds to stop the clock just so they could punt the ball.
downpour in Shreveport,
77.
Louisiana.
There's games
The
where
field was
niggas
completely
don't punt
waterlogged.
at all.
Offenses couldn't move the ball, passes were nearly impossible, and footing was a mess. So both teams resorted to punting over and over again,
Like
hoping to flip
77?
field position and force a turnover. Centenary punted every single time they had the ball. 31 of their 33 punts came on first down. It was pure
So they were punting on first day, get the ball, and it was like, here, let me punt this back. This is why I can't take old ass sports serious, because this is the type of shit they was doing. You can't explain a record like this and think that it's a valid record. Like, this is the type of shit that these niggas was doing fucking 80 years ago,
survival
100 years
football.
ago.
Texas Tech wasn't much different. They punted 36 times themselves. In total, the ball was punted more than once per minute of game time.
That's
Neither team
fucking
reached the end
dumb.
zone. The final score was 0-0. You'll never see a game like it again.
I wouldn't want
Andre
to.
Ware, 517 passing yards in one half. In 1989, Houston quarterback Andre Ware
It's
threw
always
for
Houston.
517
Why is it
yards
always
in the
Houston?
first
What
half
the fuck do
against
Houston?
SMU. Not the
The
game,
University of
the
Houston, what
first
do they got
half.
in their water, bro?
No one has ever thrown for more
What is
in
in
a
their
single
water
half at
that
the
makes them able to do
FBS
that?
level. Ware was running the run and shoot offense under head coach Jack Pardee, a system built for speed, space, and aggression. And Ware executed it perfectly. He spread the field, hit every receiver in stride, and kept the tempo so fast
5-17 in the
that
first half.
SMU's
That sounded like my
defense
road to
never had
glory.
time to recover. By the end of 2 quarters, Ware had racked up 5 touchdown passes and over 500 yards. Then sat the entire second half. He didn't need to come back in. The damage was done. That season, Ware went on to win the Heisman Trophy, and his Houston offense set records across the board. Even in today's pass-heavy era, with more plays, more possessions, and higher scoring games, no quarterback has thrown for more in a single half. And most coaches don't let their starters play long enough to even try. If you enjoyed this,
Man, as I said before, if I'm a coach and I have a player who's at a point where they're even remotely close or on pace to break a record, I am going to let them break that record every single time. Every single time, bro. Because why not? I mean, God forbid that player get hurt and shit. I really, pray they wouldn't. But, dog, I just don't see a point in, like, if we gonna break a record, nigga, let's break this record crazy, bro. Like, I'm trying to double that fucking record, you feel me?